Hello Facebook, hello YouTube, hello Gmail. And today we talked about God, God's opinion on Morris Letitia. And he disabled the marriage. He wants me to promote marriage. He tells me why uh, adultery and fornication is a problem. Because there's no glue, no biological functionality, no connection, no love. And in marriage for the couple to last together and to save each other, to satisfy each other, and to the woman to be a servant of the man, and for the man to provide for the woman, to protect the woman. It's symbiosis, but it's mostly the woman serving the man, for the purpose of the man. And God had mercy on my husband. My husband had to go to hell, but God did the exception, and I can plead for purgatory. He wanted me to have compassion on my husband. He was a lawyer, and therefore he had mercy on my husband. And my husband now in heaven, even though he had to be in hell. And if it wasn't for the mercy, God would have been unjust, because he gave us a cross. He gave us a blind marriage, and it hurt because we were separated. We were separated. We only had 3 days for each other. It was a cross. It had to be an empty marriage, a sacramental marriage. And my husband, I had a cross of the pain of not having my husband, of knowing my husband was paralyzed, of becoming a widow. And my husband had to suffer the cross of the wheelchair, the starvation, the 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 cross of dependence, the cross of, of, of bland food, the cross of needing other people to provide for you. Because in Mexico, there was such thing as welfare. Not by the time he was alive, there was nothing. Only maybe some food once in a while, but he was reliable on other people to survive, to not starve. And he spent days alone, quadriplegic, not even able to reach for water. I would be on the phone with him because I knew he was alone. And sometimes he'll be babysitting kids with no adult in sight. And so he suffered. And I got him to deny God because his cross was heavy. But God was merciful. Even though he sinned and he was supposed to be in hell, he was merciful. And now what I'm going to talk about is controversial. But God had me do mercy on my brother-in-law, his brother. Actually, on his other brothers as well. I did mercy. And my husband had a daughter with his baby mama, and she was working at Jack in the Box next to the Nogales border, cleaning bathrooms. And I saw her. My husband wanted me to ignore her, and she was just cute as a Barbie, and she was cleaning toilets at the Nogales border at the U.S. site at Jack in the Box. And her baby mama never told my husband about his daughter. He always thought it was a boy, and it was his daughter, a girl. He had a 10-year deathbed, and he never got to know his daughter because she lied, and then she she lied to him and didn't even correct the sex, and I got really sad. It was a lot of things that got me sad, but that was one thing that really got me sad because my husband had a 10-year deathbed and didn't get to know his daughter, and having a rich a father that was poor, but he was the kingpin of the Juarez cartel, of the Familia Michoacana cartel, and she had to clean toilets at the Jack in the Box, and I don't think my husband has approved of that. And then her stepfather, my brother-in-law, was also a kingpin, and I'm not gonna say what cartel it is. And then he's a kingpin. The government took away from him $1.4 million. $1.4 million in cash. And I have to buy a house, a Lambo, a horse, and to pimp it without even working. And he will make $30,000 a month. I roughly estimated it. He was balling. And this woman, like a lot of the women I'm going to describe today, was cold hearted. She denied my husband the paternity, didn't correct the sex, had the girl working at the border, and she was cheating on her husband, my brother-in-law. And the brother was a cop, and he was a kingpin. The brother was a cop, a crooked cop, and he was sleeping with her, the brother of my brother-in-law, and the baby wasn't his. And I knew this from 2020 all the way to 2025. For 5 years minimal, this was going around, and it could have been going on for longer. And the baby wasn't my brother-in-law's. My husband knew, and in 2020, I thought I told him. I called him up on the phone and I told him, "Happy birthday! Your wife is cheating with your brother, and the baby's not yours." And I had a vision that he killed him, made him carnitas, and then he killed himself. And I didn't want, and I felt I ended up in the psych ward because of it, and the other stuff. And so I've been learning a lot about theology, learning about my family, my husband's family, which is my family. And a day before, I recruited two gentlemen, my boyfriends, my lover and my boyfriend, to the cartel, and they help them out get rid of the bodies. And I tell them by text. One of them is, I'm not going to say the name. I knew the name that he gave him when he recruited him because I got the vision. And my husband gave me my vision allowed by God. So he had me see the vision about them getting recruited. And one of them, the name I knew. It was a secret name. And therefore, he knew I knew a lot. I knew secret stuff. And then I tell him, your wife is cheating with your brother. She's sleeping with your brother. And, and the baby's not yours. And you were supposed to kill yourself. But don't kill yourself, I told him. Because that what got me into the psych ward. Thinking that he was going to kill himself. Because the man worked all day. I worked along him. He was my associate, along with my mother-in-law. He was my associate with my mom in our business, and they would work from 9 in the morning at least, or if not 7, till like midnight, almost every day. And it was hard work, and and they don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by how much you make. When you have your own business, you only work. You have to shine. You have to shine and kiss butt, because your check has to depend on your profit, on what you do, not just at the hour. The workers that work for somebody else have it easy. They have to show work, but they don't really have to merit it. And this woman would never take him lunch. It had to be his mother. She would never take him lunch. She would have bring him the kids, and he'd be working with the kids. And she probably won't do nothing. She didn't have a job. She probably helped him here and there, but she didn't have a job. She was she was like a queen, and she decided to cheat on him. So I told him, "Do not kill yourself," because I thought he was gonna kill himself with all this shit. So, anyways, I tell him this. He goes home, finds him in bed. I had the vision, and before that, he had smoked pot to get strong. And he went to the house and finds her in bed with the brother, and kills them both and puts them to the shredder. And and I know it sounds like it's murder, and I had her murdered. Yeah, partially, for not telling my husband that he had a daughter. She lied about her age as well, like 10 years. She she made it look like she was in her mid 20s when she was in her 40s. I mean, she looked good, but man, she altered her age and everything. She had a double life. She had a daughter that she had working in the freaking in the freaking border like a prostitute. When she had a father that could have looked after her, she had me. I could have looked after my stepdaughter like she was mine. I wouldn't have had her working at the border cleaning toilets. I mean, I do clean toilets for. I went to clean toilets for her husband, but not at the border. And especially like her, she looked like a Barbie. And so it was mercy what I did. It was mercy because the guy was gonna kill himself, and the lady was cold-hearted, and God allowed it, because God allowed my husband to tell me these things. God allowed me to tell my brother-in-law these things, to text it. He had my husband conduct me, because my husband can conduct me and take control over me, take control of the cell phone through my hands and my brain, because he has control of my body, because I am his body. He is my head, even after death. And so that was mercy. And so I also had mercy with the other guys, recruiting them into the cartel, because they had lousy wives as well. They didn't sleep with them. They had other partners by now, and they worked like slaves. And they only use them for the money, and probably not sleep with them. If not, I wouldn't be their lover. And so that was also mercy, what I did. I gave him a post. I made him with a better life, even though it was cash and illegal. But I made him somebody. I made him into a nice corporation, international illegal corporation. Thank you very much, YouTube, Facebook, and Gmail. Now, I always thought this topic was going to be controversial, but at the end, God wanted us to to do mercy, even though some sin gets done. In abortion is not mercy. Like a lot of people say, well, see, we can kill the baby. Yeah, but what is the baby doing to the person? Nothing. And you can always help the person feed the baby, clothe the baby, work for the mother, babysitter. That's mercy. But in some cases, Jesus cured the crippled on Saturdays and the blind on Saturdays. In the Pharisees got mad because he did it on a Saturday, and it was a sin. But God said, "The man is made for the Saturday. Isn't this man more important than the mule? Even though the mule gets stuck on you and stuck it, isn't that a person more important than the mule?" And God wants us to do mercy. Sometimes we have to bend the rules. Thank you for you too, Facebook, and and I'll be talking to a lot of you priests. And Jesus defended the Pope. He wants us to do mercy sometimes. Sometimes it's merited mercy. Thank you.